Hey all you action figure enthusiasts out there, JC here and welcome to a Monday edition of TNI News. And let's start off with a little bit of news from Playmates Toys. So I've got a couple of new Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle Mutant Mayhem products to share with you coming from Playmates later this year or early 2024. Technically these are listed with a spring 2024 release, but I wouldn't be surprised if you start to see these on shelves by the holidays. But we've got what is called Tootin' Turtle Tots. So basically, variations of their baby turtles from the new movie, that are farting. I haven't actually seen the new movie yet, so I don't know if this is based on a scene from the movie or what. But if you've ever wanted farting turtles, then now you're going to get your chance. And the retail on these is $4.99. And then we also have sewer slams. So these basically you can pop these turtles out of a can. Kind of a weird feature. And then the final thing is the Mutant Mayhem vehicle with figure, the Chopper Cycle with Rocksteady. So that one's going to cost you $24.99. And again, all of these I suspect will be out on shelves by this holiday season. Super 7 this weekend released this preview image for their Toxic Crusaders glow-in-the-dark Radiation Ranger figure, which they'll be offering as a New York Comic Con exclusive. New York Comic Con will be taking place this weekend. Super 7 will be in attendance. They will have a booth. They also have a panel on Friday, which is when I believe they're going to be officially kicking off the Cobra Mothership Reaction playset, which sounds more and more like it's going to be some type of crowdsourcing item similar to what they did with the Cat Slayer. So look for those details this weekend. But again, this Radiation Ranger glow-in-the-dark figure is going to be offered as a New York Comic Con exclusive. I would expect these will probably be made available after the show. That's usually what they do. And while we're on the subject of Super 7 and glow-in-the-dark figures, if you missed out on that Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Ultimate / glow-in-the-dark figure that was originally offered as a Super 7 exclusive, it is now available on the Big Bad Toy Store website. The cost of it there is going to be $59.99. I don't remember if that's what it cost on Super 7 or not. But again, if you did miss out on that figure and you want to add it to your collection, it is available for pre-order at Big Bad Toy Store. And speaking of our sponsor, Big Bad Toy Store and exclusives, they have put up for pre-order a bunch of variant Storm collectible figures, different paint applications for variant figures, such as the Golden Axe Bad Brothers. There's a red and blue version. A whole bunch of Balrog from Street Fighter. There's a red and gray version that they have up for pre-order. Samurai Showdown. We've got a purple and gray version. Balrog also has a purple version out there. So all of these went up for pre-order this morning. Again, variants of previous figures that Storm Collectibles has done. I think these are like maybe the Wonderfest exclusive, if I remember correctly, from the overseas event last weekend. But again, these are available for pre-order now at Big Bad Toy Store, which of course here in the United States is the exclusive retailer for Storm Collectibles. Okay, now switching over to McFarlane Toys. So this morning we had 3 new Target exclusive DC figures go up for pre-order. The first one was that Batman the Animated Series Alfred figure that I told you about last week. We first saw it on display last weekend at Toy Fair, and then it was announced it would be a Target exclusive going up for pre-order today. So that figure is now available on the Target website for pre-order. And then joining Alfred are 2 other DC Multiverse figures, ones that we had not seen before. So we've got a gold label Wave Rider figure that I don't know why he's gold as opposed to his traditional yellow. We'll probably get a platinum edition variant of him in the yellow, but right now we've got this gold and orange Wave Rider figure, and then also going up today is the character Midnighter. So all 3 of these figures cost $19.99 each. And then speaking of gold label variants, so on Friday I told you about the variant Hawkman and Firestorm figures that were being released as Platinum Edition figures, which basically means they're chase variants that are packed with the regular figures, and how many per case get packed is really not known. But now we also have a look at a Platinum Edition Sinestro figure. So the regular version is in the yellow, and this one is in his Green Lantern type outfit. And then for Spawn, we even get, Platinum Edition Spawn figures. So for Spawn, we're seeing here the Disruptor character, a variant of that. And these images surfaced online this weekend. I'm not sure the original source, but obviously folks have started to find these in hand already. For you Transformer fans, I wanted to update a story I talked about on Friday in regards to the Walmart CollectorCon event. So on Friday, I told you about the G.I. Joe, Star Wars, and NECA Turtle items that were going to be going up during the next Walmart CollectorCon, which will be taking place this week on October 13th. But I forgot to mention the 2 Transformer items from Hasbro that will be going up. Now, these are reissues of the G1 Blaster with Steel Jaw and Soundwave with Laserbeak. You know, obviously these are reissues of the original G1 toys, but they've done these reissues before, but we're getting them again for the 40th anniversary. And again, these will be going up this coming week on Walmart's website. So if you missed out on them previously, you'll get another shot at them. And these are both going to cost about $45 each. Okay, and then finally for today, I just wanted to touch base on the Hasbro Marvel Legends HasLab Giant Man campaign and give you an update on that front. So as I'm recording this, we are now entering into the final 2 weeks of this campaign, and it is yet to reach its minimum 10,000 backer goal. The counter is still seemingly moving very slowly. We are just over 5,000. We're at 5,609, again, with just 2 weeks to go on this campaign. And honestly, I am really not seeing there much chance of this campaign reaching its funding goal. I won't sit here and say definitively it won't, because you just never know with these things. But based on the numbers that we have in front of us right now, it is just not looking very likely. Now, I know some will sit there and say, well, Galactus didn't fund until the final week either, and that not only reached its minimum goal, but it unlocked all the stretch goals as well. But there are some pretty glaring differences between that campaign in 2021 and this one in 2023. And so I just kind of wanted to touch base on that a little bit and share my thoughts on why I feel like this campaign is in some serious jeopardy of not getting funded. Now, I'm not here to tell you not to fund it or that you should fund it. I'm not here telling you that it shouldn't be funded in any way. I personally have no interest in backing this just because Giant Man's not an interesting enough character for me to want to back it. But I certainly, for those who are interested in seeing it back, I'm definitely keeping my fingers crossed that it will end up getting over the finish line. But again, just based on the numbers that we have in front of us right now, it's not looking good. So as far as the differences go between this campaign and Galactus, the biggest being is Galactus was twice as expensive as this campaign was. The Galactus campaign was $399 to back. This one was $199. So again, $200 difference between the two campaigns. Also, Giant Man does not require as many minimum backers in order to move forward. This campaign only requires 10,000 backers. The Galactus campaign had required 14,000 backers. So logically, you would think something that's cheaper and needs less backers, if it was going to fund, it would fund faster than the more expensive item that required more backers. And it's not. Now, again, while Galactus did not reach its minimum goal until the final week, it still was gaining more backers quicker than the Giant Man has been doing so. So, going back to August 5th, 2021, where there was still 25 days left in the campaign, that campaign had 10,719 backers of the minimum 14,000 backers it needed. So it only needed, with still over 25 days to go, it only needed 3,281 backers. Whereas with Giant Man, where we're just 2 weeks out, it still needs 4,391 backers in order to meet its minimum goal. So again, while Galactus didn't reach its minimum goal till the final week, it needed more backers, and it was gaining more backers quicker than this campaign has been doing. Another big difference is that we already know all the stretch goals for this campaign. So there's nothing left for Hasbro to show off that, if you were on the fence about this, might tip you over. And if you were somebody who chose not to back it, there's nothing to come back and keep checking on it for to see, oh, well, what might the next stretch goal be? Or, what are the other incentives that might get me? Basically, the hype for this campaign has long been over. And if you decided not to back it, there's no reason for you to come back and really check on this. So you've probably lost interest and moved on to other things. With the Galactus, I know a lot of people would complain what the Hasbro wouldn't just reveal all their stretch goals right away, but there was a reason for that. That builds up hype for the campaign. It's marketing because it gets you tuning in on a regular basis to see if it's reached its goal so you can find out what the stretch goal is and then the next stretch goal and so on and so forth. With Galactus, again, it didn't reach its minimum goal until that final week. In fact, I did a whole write-up on this, so if you want to look at the numbers more closely. But going back to August 23rd, 2021, the final week of the campaign, and again, the campaign ended on August 30th, so this was August 23rd. It had 13,156 backers. So at that point, it needed under 1,000 backers in order to reach the minimum goal. And at that point, the only stretch goal we knew of was the Frankie Ray Nova figure. There were still 3 other stretch goals that we didn't even know about at that time. And so 2 days later, it did end up reaching its minimum goal. So with 5 days left, it reached the minimum 14,000 backers it needed. Then 2 days after that, or I should say 1 day after that, it got to 16,000 and unlocked the Frankie Ray Nova figure. Then we got the second stretch goal revealed, which was the Silver Surfer figure. That was unlocked the following day with 17,000 backers. And then we got probably the coolest stretch goal revealed with the Morgue figure. That needed 18,000 that needed 20,000 backers, and that was reached on August 29th. Then the final stretch goal with that Dr. Doomhead, which was the weakest of the 4 stretch goals, in my opinion, was revealed. And that was reached on August 30th, the final day of the campaign. And that campaign ended with 30,780 backers. So it definitely, that final week had a huge surge. But that's because of all the stretch goals and everything that was keeping people tuning in, keeping people interested. People who were on the fence were like, yeah, I'm going to back this because I want these figures along with the Galactus. But again, with Giant Man here, there's none of that. We already know everything. It's 2 faceplates that you might be able to unlock. Not very exciting in its own right, but the fact that we know what those are means nobody's really paying attention to the campaign anymore. Yeah, if you backed it, you're probably still checking it to see if it's going to reach its minimum goal, but if you chose not to back it, there's nothing really bringing you back and keeping you interested in this. Now, Hasbro will be, bringing the Giant Man figure to New York Comic Con this weekend. They will be at the Marvel booth. Hasbro does not have their own booth or anything this year. We're not going to get like lots of Marvel Legend reveals at New York Comic Con. This is basically, they're just bringing the Giant Man so that people can see it in hand to try and generate some excitement for the campaign. They did the same thing last year with the Engines of Vengeance campaign, which obviously did not succeed. And when they brought it to New York, and at New York, they actually revealed one of the stretch goals, or maybe even 2 of the stretch goals, I can't remember. But they actually had some new reveals for the campaign during New York Comic Con last year. But it did absolutely nothing to really increase the backer numbers. In fact, at this point last year with Engines of Vengeance, the backer numbers were actually going down, not up. Now, we have not seen that with Giant Man, so that's why if the backer numbers were going down, I would say this campaign is 100% done. But we've not yet seen that. The backer numbers on Giant Man do continue to go up, but at a very slow pace. At the current pace that's been going, once we get into the final week, I'm still thinking that we're going to need somewhere in the neighborhood of 3,000 additional backers. And with only 1 week and no additional incentives, that just seems like a big jump. We usually see some type of jump at the end, but that we're going to see, 3,000 or more, again, with no incentives or anything, I don't know. Now, maybe Hasbro has not been adding in their overseas backers. Sometimes we see them do that at the very end. So if that's the case, then that could definitely help this campaign and would be, in my view, a much better chance of it getting funded. That's where you'd probably see a big giant jump in like 1 day. If they haven't been doing that. But I don't know whether they've been doing that or not. They haven't said, so we'll just have to see. But again, just based on the numbers that we have in front of us right now, I am not feeling very confident that this campaign is actually going to fund. And even if it did fund, even if it did eke over the finish line, it's still, there's no doubt that this campaign is struggling much more than the previous successful campaigns. It's not struggling as bad as last year's failed campaign, but compared to Galactus and the Sentinel funded in just over 24 hours of that campaign. But that was a true army builder. Not only was it a cool figure, it was X-Men related. X-Men are super popular, but it was a true army builder, so people were buying as many as they could because they wanted an army of Sentinels. So Galactus was not an army builder, and even with these faceplates on Giant Man's not really an army builder. So I doubt there's that many people buying multiple Giant Man figures. But nevertheless, compared to the other two successful HasLab Marvel campaigns, this one definitely is struggling more so. And like I say, I really am feeling like there's very little chance, unless, Hasbro does something. I mean, who knows? Maybe Hasbro will have a surprise addition to add to the campaign. But again, I as I've said many times, the cost is baked in with all the stretch goals and everything from the get-go. And so if they add anything addition, I don't see it as something like that's going to be like super big, that's going to really have a huge effect on whether you're backing this or not, because then that would end up adding to the cost. Like, I don't see them adding in like a completely new figure or something, because that would add significantly to the cost of the campaign, and I just don't see Hasbro doing that. But who knows, maybe they'll shock us. But I will be going to New York Comic Con this weekend. I will be going on Thursday. I'm just going for the day. I am interested in seeing the Giant Man figure in person myself. But and of course I'll be taking pictures and stuff and having them up on Marvelous News. But again, from what I'm seeing right now, I definitely feel like this campaign is struggling and is in serious doubt of not getting funded. Okay, so that's it for today. As always, I'd love to hear your thoughts on everything I talked about down in the comments section below. Like this video if you're so inclined. If you're new to the channel, please hit that subscribe button, as well as the bell notification so you're alerted every time I upload a new video. As always, guys, stay safe out there, and until next time, I'll catch you later.
Hey, thanks for watching today's video, and be sure to subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and hit that bell notification so you're alerted every time I upload a new video. And be sure to head over to the Toy News International and Marvelous News message boards communities. It's a great place to talk toys and win cool contests like $100 store credits to Big Bad Toy Store. And remember, action figures are great.